Hey guys, as most of you already know, they're in the process of creating a Borderlands movie, which is really exciting, and I wanted to make a video and put some information together to show you guys. And also, I have a friend that's in the film industry, and he most likely will be working on this movie, and I spoke to him and he gave me some good inside industry information that I wanted to share with you. So in this video, I'm going to be going over who is all behind this movie and why it might actually be good, despite the fact that a lot of game movies are not. I'll show you guys the potential cast that they're wanting for these roles, and then the possible time frame for completion and the possible filming location. And then finally, there is some storyline information that I'll go over as well. So this film adaptation has been in development at Lionsgate since 2015. They've gone through various writers and directors, and they have finally settled on who they want to help support this film. Lionsgate is known for all the Hunger Game movies, the Saw horror film series, Kick-Ass, Texas Chainsaw. There's a ton of them that are really good. So they're known for making some pretty good films, so there's some hope there. Lionsgate Motion Picture Group's president Nathan KAHANE made a statement. He said with the director and the writer that they've chosen, they believe that they have cracked the code on bringing the anarchic world of Borderlands to the big screen in a big way that will be a fresh, compelling, and cinematic event for moviegoers and fans of the game. In addition to having an awesome writer and director, they have brought on some heavy hitters for production. And I think this is the most exciting news. They've brought on the Marvel Studios for this movie. The producers are Avi and Ari Ara. They're a father and son team, and they are the CEOs and founders of Marvel Studios. The list of movies that they have produced is pretty amazing. They have done the Spider-Man series, X-Men, Iron Man, Guardian of the Galaxies, Avengers, Hulk, you name it. Anything Marvel, they did it. And then bringing all that experience of those action-packed films over to Borderlands is going to be very cool. And most of my trust is with these guys to make this movie really amazing. For the director, they chose Eli Roth, and he's an American film director, producer, writer, and actor. As a director and producer, he's most closely associated with the horror genre and torture porn. The first two movies that really put him on the map were Cabin Fever and Hostel. I was looking through his resume, and I didn't know it, but he actually directed The Last Exorcism, and that is hands down my favorite horror movie, so that's really cool. And for the Borderlands movie, he is wanting to add a little spice of Hostel into the film. Hostel is definitely categorized under torture porn, and there were 3 movies in this series, and it's based on a mysterious organization that tortures and kills kidnapped tourists. For the writer, they've chosen Craig Mazin, which could be very exciting. He is an American screenwriter and film director, best known for writing and producing Chernobyl. It's a 5-part miniseries for HBO. The Chernobyl series won multiple awards, and so did he. He won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing. He's also known for writing Identity Thief and also Hangover Part 2 and 3, which is a pretty big leap from the Chernobyl series. And because of his success with Chernobyl, HBO has hired him to write the new series that's coming called The Last of Us, which is based on Naughty Dog's critically acclaimed PlayStation game. Definitely can't wait to see that. As far as the storyline and script go, we don't know a lot, but we do know some. And when the very early stages of this movie was being put together by Lionsgate, they had another writer. And that writer had put the setting in Pandora, obviously, but wasn't using any of the storyline that we know now. He had created a brand new storyline with cameos from existing characters that we're familiar with. And now that there is a new writer, Craig Mazin, there's no telling what direction this has gone. What they did say is that although the movie will pull from source material and what we've seen in the game already, the film will feature a brand new female protagonist. At this time, they have not announced any actors that they're going to be using for any of these roles, but what they did say is that we can expect fan favorite characters from the series to return, and that includes our Vault Hunter's little yellow robot companion, CLAPTRAP. And the movie definitely would not be complete without CLAPTRAP, which leads me to my next little bit of information, which is bizarre yet intriguing. So at the Gearbox Studios, the developer of the Borderlands series, there is a creative director there by the name of Paul Sage. Last summer in 2019, he did an interview talking about this movie, and he was speaking about who he'd like to cast for some of the roles. The actor he mentioned was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which at first sounds pretty cool. I mean, he's a pretty big, beefy dude. He could definitely play one of the main characters or one of the Vault Hunters. 2 characters that come to mind are Brick or Roland. Those guys are pretty muscle-bound as well, just like him. Well, that is not even close to what he was thinking. The article reads, according to Gearbox creative director Paul Sage, he wants none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to star in it. However, not quite in the role that most expect. He will not be his usual muscle-bound self blasting enemies. Instead, Sage says that The Rock should definitely voice the Borderlands mascot CLAPTRAP, especially since the original voice actor has left the project. They also said that in the studio they can make anybody sound like CLAPTRAP, so that's why they thought The Rock could be a really good option. Again, no one has been officially announced for any of the roles in the movie, but if you go online, you can see on IMDb where people have a wish list of who they'd like to see in the movie and who they think would fit these roles really well. For Tiny Tina, they want Chloe Grace Moretz. She definitely has the look for that character. For Salvador, they want Danny Trejo, which yes, I could definitely see that. And this one's hilarious. For Mordecai, they want Jared Leto. And for this one, I think, yeah, it would be a really good fit. For MOXXI, they want Scarlett Johansson. And for Handsome Jack, those are some pretty big shoes to fill. You need a pretty charismatic actor, and I think Ryan Reynolds would fill that role really well. Next, I want to show you guys a highlight from a presentation that Gearbox did at PAX, and Randy Pitchford, the CEO, got on stage, and he talked a little bit about the movie, and then he also brought Eli Roth, the director, on stage to talk about it as well. Randy Pitchford is the CEO at Gearbox, and he is going to be an executive producer on the movie, and in this presentation, he was promising people that the movie won't suck. After this highlight, I want to talk to you guys about some inside industry information. Again, I have a friend that is trying to work on this movie, and he gave me some details about location and possible time of release. But I'll let you guys watch the highlight clip first, and then I'll get into that.
One thing, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we're making a movie. Did you guys see that? We are making a Borderlands movie, and it was my great thrill to, with our partners at Lionsgate, to announce, this movie, we actually first talked about it way back when we first did the arrangement with Lionsgate. And Lionsgate is a great studio. They did The Hunger Games, they did Twilight, they know how to do big movies, and they're really behind this picture, which is really exciting. And then we also got involved, a production company, ROTH Productions. I don't know if you guys probably don't know who ROTH Production is, but Avi Arad was the founder and CEO of Marvel Studios. Have you guys ever heard of Marvel Studios? So, they figured it out, right? They made a movie called Spider-Man, and then X-Men, and then Iron Man, and then the Avengers. They figured out how to make some of the most incredible entertainment that the world has ever seen and have it come from a comic book. And so Avi and Ari, when they called me and said, hey, we think we can do this. We think we're the guys for video games, and we want to be the ones to finally make a video game movie that doesn't suck. And we think Borderlands is that game. Now, guess what? I think we're in that world, right? Did anybody see the Sonic movie? It was cool, right? It was a lot of fun. We're getting there. The studios are behind this now. And so Arad's leading the way, and they started to assemble a great team. So one of the first things we thought we should do is write a script and develop the story. And we got some great people to help us develop the story. And the most recent writer who turned in, I'm going to tell you, it's a brilliant script, is a guy named Craig Mazin. Do you know who Craig Mazin is? He won an Emmy for Chernobyl, right? Which is serious stuff. He created it and he wrote it. He also wrote some of the Hangover movies. So this guy's got some range. He can make us feel stuff and make us laugh and pee ourselves, right? So Craig is amazing, and his script is incredible. And so then we had the most difficult problem of it all. A movie is not a movie unless there's someone leading the charge, and if there's a director that gets the vision, that understands how to tell a story, and understands how to motivate and inspire. And it was a great thrill to announce that after a lot of work and a lot of collaboration, Eli Roth joined the team. Did you guys see this? Holy shit, you guys. Eli Roth is directing the Borderlands movie. Holy shit. Now, here's what's cool. Do you guys want to meet Eli? Ladies and gentlemen, where is he? Eli Roth.
What's up? Thanks, Randy. What's up, Vault Hunters? How we doing? All right. I'm so excited.
Holy shit, right?
I'm so excited to be here. I'm streaming to everyone around the world. And as Randy said, this is my hometown. I grew up in Newton. So a special shout out to all my Boston people. I'm going to say something in Bostonian.
Okay,
in Massel. Dude, it's fucking wicked awesome to be here. I got fucking wicked hammered last night. I went to Dunkies this morning. I had like 4 crullers. I'm like wicked wired right now. So thank you. That was only my Boston people. But what a great thing. I mean, it is a mad, insane family, and it's great when you have, Randy and Craig, who wrote Chernobyl, and you can put a little spice of Hostel in there. I'm so excited to do something, and I think the movie's going to be great. It's incredible. We're just getting started, so there's nothing to share yet. Except, I've noticed that there are a few cosplayers in the audience.
Most of our cosplayers over here. Can you guys stand up?
Look at these cosplayers.
Holy shit.
I mean, I get to write a character and see them, but for Randy, he writes it, it's digital, and then you see them. But seeing you guys in real life is really firing up my brain for the movie. And something that I want to do is, I don't know how we're going to pull this off because we haven't picked where we're going to shoot it, but I want to find the craziest cosplayers and most psychos around the world, and I want to kill them in the movie. I don't want to just put them in the movie like, oh, there's a cosplayer. I want something horrible crushing you or some awful death, because for the super fans of the game to not only live in it and be in it, but when we get to actually build the world, we want to find people around the world and bring them in and just maim them, just do horrible things to them. So, it's going to be a long road before we get there, but there's no better way to kick it off. And just thank you, everyone, for welcoming me. I really appreciate it.
Woo!
Okay, so last I want to talk to you guys about expectations we might be able to have for this movie as far as when it's going to be released and then also filming location. Again, I have a friend that's in the industry. They've worked on major movies, major television series for like Netflix and stuff like that, and they gave me their speculation for what they expect to see or could see with the release of this movie. He said that there is a term in the movie industry or film industry that is called fast tracking. If they decide to fast track this movie, we could possibly see it in the summer of 2021. He said that a lot of movies focus on a summer release, so he feels like they might want to try for a summer release as well with this one. And he said if they fast track it, then yeah, they could get it done. He said there are 3 stages to making a movie. He said that the first stage is pre-production, and if they start that this summer, 2020, it will go between 2 to 6 weeks. During pre-production, they hire the cast, they build the sets, they make the costumes, and they sometimes work on complicated stunts. The next stage is production, and that is when the actual filming happens of the movie, and that will last like 3 months or about 90 days. That could put the process at the end of this year in the winter time, and then after that it goes into post-production, and that can last anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So if they started post-production at the beginning of next year in January, they would have 3 to 6 months, which puts them around May-ish, which gives them plenty of time to have it ready for a summer 2021 release, late June, early July. During post-production, that's when all the editing happens, so the director and the producers will do their cuts, submit it to the studio, and then the studio will give them feedback, and they'll work on like length of film, they'll add in music and special effects. So that is a realistic timeline where we could see this next summer, which would be very exciting, and I'll keep you guys updated from my friend and what he finds out. He also gave some inside information and speculation on where he thinks this could be filmed. They're going to need to find a setting that looks a lot like Pandora, very desolate, lots of sand. He said there's a location that would be ideal for this setting, and it's the very south tip of South Africa called Cape Town Film Studios. And again, this is him speculating, but in this location they filmed other movies like Avengers, District 9, awesome movie, Dread, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, and Mad Max. And Mad Max is definitely in line with the way Borderlands looks and what we might expect to see on the big screen. But I'll keep you guys updated if I find out anything, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.